The night before the wedding, my girlfriend secretly texted her first love. The only person I want to marry will always be you. Yet on the day before the wedding, I watched her fuss over every detail, arranging the wedding entirely to his tastes. But this time, I didn't stop her. I just let her do whatever she wanted, because I no longer want this wedding, or her. I turned around and called the overseas manager. Hello, I'd like to reapply for the overseas posting. The HR manager on the other end was surprised. Didn't you turn it down because you're getting married? It's a 3-year assignment at minimum. Your fiancée loves you so much. Can she bear to let you go? She'll agree to it. I replied firmly, but his voice was full of bitterness. Everyone knew Jiangji loved him. He had a bad stomach, so she made him 3 different meals a day. Rain or shine, she picked him up from work on time when he was sick, even with just a cold. She stayed by his side 24/7. On every holiday and anniversary, she would prepare all sorts of surprises. So when Payan heard that Jiangji's childhood sweetheart and first love was returning, he didn't feel the slightest bit insecure. But he was wrong. The day Jingxin returned, Jiangji took the initiative and proposed to Payan. Before this, Payan had proposed to her 3 times, but she always said they were still young and there was no rush. Although he was a little disappointed, he didn't want to push her too hard. Her sudden proposal left him overjoyed. But that very night, he received an anonymous message. It was a screenshot of a chat. Jiangji, Payan has been by my side for 5 years. I have to marry him. And Jingxin, the one I truly want to marry, is still you. The moment he saw those messages, Payan felt the blood freeze in his veins. He wanted to confront Jiangji with the screenshot, but he didn't dare. He was terrified that the last 5 years were a lie, and terrified of being a complete joke. For the next half month, Jiangji treated him just as flawlessly as before. In a daze, he almost convinced himself the message was just a prank, until just now, when he received several new photos. In the photos, Jiangji was smiling affectionately, accompanying Jingxin to try on wedding suits, and the suit she picked out for Payan today was the exact one that looked best on Jingxin. What's wrong, honey? His spiraling thoughts snapped back to reality. Payan looked at Jiangji in the driver's seat. Why are your eyes red? Do you not like this suit? We can go back and you can try on something else. No need. Pull over. Jiangxi looked at him nervously. Did I do something wrong? Tell me, and I'll fix it. You know, I hate seeing you upset more than anything. His heart felt like it was being squeezed by an invisible hand. Payan couldn't speak. Such hypocrisy. I'm clearly not the one she wants to marry. Yet, she insists on playing the devoted partner. The next second, her phone rang. Jiangji's expression drastically changed. Don't panic. I'm coming right now. Honey, can you make your own way back? There's an emergency within Jingxin. I have to go there right away. Payan quietly pushed the car door open, only to realize it had started raining. He had just turned back to grab an umbrella, when the car sped off in a rush, splashing him with mud. Payan stared blankly as the car disappeared. Suddenly, he felt that all those unspoken questions were completely pointless. Asking them now would only be humiliating himself. Payan walked home in the pouring rain. Right as he walked in, HR sent him a message. Your flight is booked. Get everything ready. His departure date was set for half a month later. That day was their dating anniversary, and it was also their wedding day. Payan picked up the wedding countdown calendar from the table. At the top was a sentence he had handwritten. In the best years of my life, I marry the one who loves me most. Liar. The tears he'd been holding back finally fell. Smudging the ink, he and Jiangji were college sweethearts. After graduation, he stayed in this city just for her, giving up much better career opportunities. And now, also because of her, Payan wanted to leave this place for good. All of Jiangji's so-called helplessness was just the ultimate humiliation to him. He didn't want someone like Jiangji anymore. Soaked from the rain, Payan caught a cold and fell into a feverish sleep. When he woke up, it was already afternoon. As soon as he stepped out of his room, he saw Jiangji drying Jingxin's wet hair. You don't have to. I barely got rain on. Stay still. Every drop needs to be dry. Otherwise, you'll be the one suffering from a cold. Paiyan stood frozen in place. Suddenly, he remembered the past. During their first year together, Jiang Ji asked Paiyan to take her to a concert she'd been dying to see. To avoid ruining the mood, Paiyan hid the fact that he was feeling sick, but Jiang Ji noticed anyway. Less than 10 minutes into the show, she left without hesitation to take him to the hospital. Afterward, she beat herself up for not noticing his discomfort sooner, letting him suffer in silence. For the next 4 years, even a single cough from Paiyan would put Jiang Ji on high alert. But today, doing the same thing, she was giving all that devotion to someone else. Honey, don't overthink it. After drying in Jingshin's hair, Jiang Ji finally noticed him, and Jingshin spoke up to explain. The place I'm renting has a leak, so it's unlivable. Jai said I could crash here for now. Paiyan looked at Jiang Ji. So, this is your emergency. Jingshin is different from you. He grew up well off. He's never had to rough it out. Paiyan's eyes immediately reddened. Jiang Ji realized she had misspoken. I'm sorry, I didn't mean it like that. Paiyan's parents divorced shortly after he was born. He grew up being kicked around like a burden. Jiang Ji knew that his biggest dream was simply to have a home. In their 3rd year together, Paiyan worked himself to the bone to buy this apartment. To give Jiang Ji a sense of security, he put the deed solely in her name. Jiang Ji spent a lot of time decorating it, saying this was their little home. But now, she was moving someone else in, and personally stabbing Paiyan right where he was most vulnerable. It was fine. He handed her his weakness on a silver platter. So he took the hit. But there wouldn't be a next time. Jiang Ji breathed a sigh of relief, and tightly gripped Paiyan's hand. And Jingshin suddenly spoke up. You gave me Paiyan's room. Where is he going to sleep? The hand holding Paiyan's flinched. He'll sleep in the study. Honey, the guest room won't be ready until tomorrow. Jingshin is a guest. Just let him have it for tonight. Once and Jingshin went to the room. Jiang Ji immediately explained. They say couples shouldn't see each other much right before the wedding. I'm just doing this for our own good. Paiyan pulled his hand back. It's fine. Even though his tone was incredibly calm, it inexplicably made Jiang Ji feel uneasy. In the middle of the night, a thunderstorm broke out. Paiyan received a message from Jiang Ji. Honey, I can't sleep without you next to me. But at the same time, he got a photo from Jingshin. In the picture, Jiang Ji was sitting on the edge of the bed, letting Jingshin hold her wrist, smiling with utmost tenderness. I can't sleep in strange beds. So she volunteered to stay and keep me company. Do you want to tell her to go back to you? Paiyan felt a suffocating weight in his chest. He got up to find some cold medicine. Jiang Ji's second message arrived. But I want us to be together forever, so badly. So for you, I'll endure it, no matter how hard it is. Paiyan poured a glass of water and swallowed the pills, along with the nausea rising in his throat, before typing out a few words. Yahoo! Thanks for dealing with it. Then he opened Jingshin's chat. No need. Do whatever. Lying on the floor mattress in the study, Paiyan counted the days. Almost there. 14 days left. Jiang Ji made breakfast the next morning. She carefully watched his reactions. Honey, nights without you are pure torture. But I have to push through 13 more days before I can marry you, right? Yeah, 13 days left. Paiyan's eyes darkened. Pass me a dumpling. Jiang Ji had just picked one up with her chopsticks. When Jingshin leaned over and ate it right from her hand, she immediately glanced at Paiyan. Don't mind him. He just likes to mess around. Before, Jiang Ji used to be hyper-aware of maintaining boundaries with guys. She'd never give him a single reason to doubt her. Turns out, those boundaries applied to everyone, except Jingshin. It's fine. Paiyan didn't even look up. Jiang Ji froze. Honey. Paiyan. Do you know what Ji used to be like? And Jingshin cut her off, his gaze provocative. She used to be such a tomboy. She changed so much for me. Whatever I liked to eat, she learned how to cook. She memorized every anniversary related to me, and learned how to surprise me. Paiyan listened quietly, his throat tightening. He was being explicitly told that all of Jiang Ji's amazing qualities he treasured were actually just proof of her deep love for Jingshin. And Jingshin, stop messing around. Jiang Ji's reprimand carried no weight. It was more full of indulgence and compromise. Pai Yan completely lost his appetite. He went back to the study to grab his documents. When he came out, Jiang Ji was holding his phone. Your HR just called, asking when you're bringing the handover files over. Didn't you already request wedding leave? What's there to hand over? To prepare for the wedding. Pai Yan had used up all his annual leave to string together a month off. I missed a few things, so I have to make a trip. Jiang Ji didn't think much of it. It's raining outside. I'll go with you. Pai Yan tightened his grip on the files. Hidden inside were his visa documents. It wouldn't matter if she found out early. He never planned on deliberately hiding it from her anyway. The car ride was agonizingly quiet when they arrived at his office. Jiang Ji held the umbrella, walking him to the building. She kept looking down, replying to texts. Her attention clearly wasn't on him, yet she still tilted the umbrella mostly over him, looking just as caring as she always did. It turns out some affection really can be faked. Pai Yan watched her coldly. Jiang Ji, just wait a little longer, just a little longer, and this charade will finally be over. The HR manager came out to greet him with his overseas assignment, visa documents, and Jingshan took a fall at home. Jiang Ji's footsteps abruptly stopped. She was so frantic, she didn't even hear HR. I have to head back first. Before she finished, Pai Yan had already stepped out of the rain under the awning. He looked at her calmly. Go back. Jiang Ji didn't expect him to react like that. She stared at him, an inexplicable unease rising in her chest. She instinctively took a step toward him. But the next second, and Jingshan called. Hearing him let out a groan of pain over the phone, Jiang Ji threw all her hesitation out the window. I'm going to check on him. It's raining, wait for me to come back and pick you up. Before, he would have believed her without a doubt. Now he couldn't care less. He followed HR, handed over his files, and officially signed his overseas contract. By the time he got home, 2 hours had passed. Jiang Ji called him. Honey, something came up at work. I can't come pick you up anymore. Can you just grab a cab home? At the exact same time, he received new photos. Jiang Ji was linking arms with the injured and Jingxiang, strolling through a furniture market like newlyweds. It was an expected broken promise. Pai Yan replied flatly, that's fine. Work is more important. A man's laughter could faintly be heard in the background. It sounded like she pulled the phone away for a second. A moment later, she finally spoke again. Call me when you get home. Otherwise, I'll be worried. Before she could even finish, Pai Yan hung up. He saved the photos one by one, put his phone down and started packing. Over the last 5 years, the gifts she'd given him had filled the entire room. Pai Yan photographed them and listed them on a second-hand site. In the end, only a ring was left. It was for their 1-year anniversary. Jiang Ji had made it for him with her own hands. Pai Yan rubbed the slightly tarnished band. The light caught 2 letters engraved on the inside, JC. A heavy blow from Jingshan, delayed by 4 years, smashed mercilessly into Pai Yan. How ridiculous. It turns out even these gifts were never truly meant for him. The ring was thrown into the trash without a second thought. Over the next few days, Jiang Ji accompanied Jingshan as they constantly bought new things for the marital home. Meanwhile, the things Pai Yan kept in the apartment grew fewer and fewer. 8 days until the wedding, Pai Yan came back from finishing his visa paperwork and saw the two of them picking out invitations. And Jingshan called him over with the attitude of the man of the house. Come help us pick. The invitations scattered across the sofa were the ones he and Jiang Ji had spent days researching and carefully selecting. He had once wanted to make sure every single detail of their wedding was perfect. No need. Pai Yan walked straight back to his room. Anyway, none of these invitations would be used for his wedding now. That evening, Jingshan knocked on his door. This is the invitation Ji picked out. Do you know why she chose this one? Pai Yan flipped the invitation open. The names on it were in Jiang Ji's handwriting. The bride was her, but the groom's name was in Jingshan. She helped me pick out the wedding suit. The hotel was chosen based on my preferences too, and this invitation. And Jingshan smirked smugly. You could say everything about this wedding was prepared by Z just for me. What's the point in forcing her to marry you after all this? Pai Yan let out a laugh. Exactly. So why isn't she marrying you? And Jingshan's expression froze. Pai Yan, don't think you've won. even if you're the one she marries. I'm the only one in her heart. And Jingchen deliberately shook the mug in his hand. Paiyan's gaze sharpened. That was the couple's mug he and Jiangxi had custom made by hand for their wedding. Even if he wasn't going to use it, and Jingchen had no right to touch it. Give it back. Paiyan had just reached out. When Jingchen deliberately fell to the floor, the mug shattered into pieces. What are you doing? Paiyan was shoved to the ground by Jiangxi. Ceramic shards ground into his palms, sending a piercing pain straight to his bones. He broke my mug. It's just a stupid mug, so what if it's broken? Paiyan, you're being completely unreasonable. The explanation dying on Paiyan's lips came to a halt. Blood oozed from between his fingers and dripped to the floor. And Jingchen frowned and let out a pained groan. Jiangxi hesitated for 2 seconds, then supported Jingchen and hurried out. Where does it hurt? Lean on me. I'll take you to the hospital right now. Paiyan's eyes were slightly red. He looked down at the shattered mug. He had loved her without reservation for 5 years. In the end, right or wrong didn't matter. Everything of his had to unconditionally make way for Jingchen. In that moment, the surging anger in his heart flatlined into complete calm. It wasn't that he wasn't good enough, it was that Jiangxi wasn't worth it. He took the remaining mug and threw it into the trash, along with the shards. He didn't spare them another glance. That night, Paiyan slept peacefully. The next morning, Jiangxi texted him, "Honey, I'm sorry. Our families are old friends. He just got back. And I promised our elders I'd help him settle in it. I was afraid something would happen to him. My mom already doesn't like you." And Jingchen was a little emotional yesterday. "I couldn't just leave a guest alone at the hospital. That's why I didn't come home last night. Don't overthink it. What a load of crap." So it turns out she was doing it for his sake. Paiyan simply tossed his phone aside. He didn't want to reply with a single word. That afternoon, Jiangxi brought Jingchen back. She settled him in first, before knocking on Paiyan's door. "I didn't know your hand was hurt this badly. I promise there won't be a next time." Jiangxi held his hand, not even daring to apply pressure. The cuts weren't deep, but the bloody scratches looked shocking. Paiyan gave a casual response and kept his head down, taking a pen to the wedding countdown calendar to cross off another day. When he first made this calendar, his heart was full of anticipation for the wedding. But now, the only thing he was anticipating was leaving. "Paiyan, why did you throw the mug away?" Paiyan followed her gaze to the trash can on the side. He didn't say a word. Jiangxi panicked slightly. "Just having one left is bad luck anyway. I'll go with you to make an even better pair later." "There is no later." "What?" Jiangxi didn't catch what he said, but she felt increasingly uneasy. "If you think it's a hassle, I'll make them out. Also, it's okay if you don't like Jingchen. Once we finish the wedding, I promise you, I won't see him anymore." She grabbed his hand. Paiyan looked up at her. "Why are your hands so cold? Are you feeling sick?" The concern and worry on her face were plain to see. "I'll go get you a blanket." She quickly walked over and opened the closet. The half-empty closet was completely exposed. The missing items were all Paiyan's. Jiangxi whipped around and looked at the room. It wasn't until this moment that she finally noticed. All the things that used to fill the bedroom were now completely gone. Her voice trembled. "Where are all the gifts I gave you? Paiyan, where are your clothes?" "I sold gifts. I packed my clothes." With every word he said, Jiangxi's face grew a shade paler. "You're mad at me, aren't you?" Paiyan said nothing. Jiangxi opened the other cabinets and saw his neatly packed suitcases. She suddenly relaxed. "We're moving into the new house soon anyway. It's good that you packed your clothes early. We can just bring them straight over. As for the gifts, whatever. In the future, we'll have more and more anniversary gifts. The old ones were bound to be thrown out anyway." Paiyan's hand was held tight. Her suddenly lowered voice was filled with self-blame. "Honey, I'm sorry. I don't know why I lost my mind and carelessly hurt you." Paiyan looked at her, but his heart didn't even ripple with emotion. That night, Jiangxi sat on the edge of the bed with him. "Honey, I'll leave after you fall asleep. Otherwise, I'll be worried." Paiyan had spent 5 years getting used to having Jiangxi by his side. To change that fact, it only took her less than a month. At 1 a.m., Paiyan finally felt a little sleepy. "Paiyan?" Jiangxi suddenly called him. He reflexively opened his eyes. The flickering light from her phone screen danced across her face. She couldn't completely hide her impatience. Payan closed his eyes again. Honey. This time, just as she hoped. Payan didn't respond. Jiangji immediately got up and walked out. Her deliberately lowered voice sounded completely relieved. Okay, I'm coming to keep you company right now. The bedroom door clicked shut softly. In a daze, Payan thought of the past. In their 4th year together, Payan was in a car accident and broke a bone. Jiangji dropped absolutely everything and stayed up all night taking care of him. Payan begged her to get some rest, but she refused. She said she was afraid of not knowing when he was in pain. But now, it was the same situation, yet even a minute with him felt like too much, and he didn't need her anymore either. It rained again the next morning. The moment Payan stepped out of his room, he saw Jiangji hurrying toward him. Her clothes were mostly wet, but she pulled breakfast from her coat like it was a treasure. Thank goodness it didn't get wet. I bought it from your favorite place. I rushed all the way back, afraid it wouldn't taste good if it got cold. Payan took the steamed buns. They were still warm. He really was hungry, so he didn't refuse. Jiangji went to the kitchen and made Payan a glass of soy milk, while giving in Jingshan a cup of ginger tea, and Jingshan, sitting across from him, sent him a photo. Under the streetlights and a light drizzle, Jiangji's umbrella was tilted entirely toward Jing. A large black coat wrapped around the two of them, intimately close. In the corner of the photo, Payan's favorite breakfast spot was visible. Payan looked up, and Jingshan was holding his ginger tea, looking at him. Are the buns good? So even this breakfast was just an afterthought. Payan ate the last bite. Pretty good. And Jingshan's smile faltered slightly. Payan downed the rest of his soy milk. For the next 2 days, Jiangji suddenly became very attentive to Payan again, running his bathwater, buying him breakfast, and making him different meals every day. It's just that every single act of care also included Jingshan. And Payan's phone had a few more photos. 5 days left until the wedding. Payan received a message from Jiangji. Honey, I got the time off. Wait for me to come back, and we'll go take our wedding photos. Payan flipped through the countdown calendar. The mark for take wedding photos was very prominent. This used to be one of the things he looked forward to the most forward. Now he had completely forgotten about it. Payan picked up his pen and crossed out another day. He wasn't going to have a wedding, and he wasn't going to take wedding photos. Might as well do it today. He'd lay it all out and break up with Jiangji cleanly. But Jiangji broke her promise. Payan waited 2 hours before he got her call. The company urgently sent me to Yecheng on a business trip for 5 days. I can't go with you. The city Payan had booked for their wedding photos was also Yecheng. Or maybe I can try and get the company to send someone else. I'll take whatever consequences come with it. Jiangji's tone was full of guilt. Honey, I know you've wanted to go to Yecheng for a long time. I don't want to disappoint you. Payan stayed silent for a moment. Work is more important. The wedding photos can wait. I'll book flights. After the wedding, we'll go to Yecheng immediately. He hung up the phone. Payan found the number of one of Jiangji's co-workers and sent a message to ask. He quickly got a reply. What a coincidence. Jiangji really was sent on a last-minute business trip. Payan turned the page of the calendar and unfolded the paper taped to the back. Before, he had stayed up for 2 nights straight to fill 2 whole pages with an itinerary. Half of it was for taking wedding photos, and the other half was to explore his dream city with Jiangji. Now the wedding photos were cancelled, but Payan still wanted to make the trip before leaving the country. Payan packed the calendar into his suitcase and looked around the room. He made sure absolutely nothing of his was left. Then he took his luggage and walked out the door, never looking back. 3 days left until the wedding. Following his itinerary, Payan explored every corner of Yecheng. During that time, he received many messages from Jiangji. I had told Jingshan to go stay at a friend's place. I didn't want him making you uncomfortable. I made it to Yecheng. It's just as beautiful as you imagined. After the wedding, I'll stay here with you for a few extra days. The cherry blossoms are beautiful. I really wish you were here to see them with me. Well, she didn't need to wish. He did see them though. Payan closed the cherry blossom photo Jiangji had just sent. He looked up. This location was also on his itinerary. And right now, in that cherry blossom grove, Jiang Ji, wearing a wedding dress, put down her phone and threw herself into Jingshan's arms. Their eyes met, deeply affectionate. They looked like a match made in heaven. Jiang Ji smiled, leaning against his chest. Happy now. Whatever you want. When have I ever said no to you? You know better than anyone that you're the one I love. Paiyan's feet were glued to the ground. A cold breeze swept past, the chill sinking into his bones. The person taking their photos was the photographer Paiyan had painstakingly chosen for 4 whole hours. Paiyan followed them from a distance, watching them go to every spot on his itinerary, taking wedding photo after wedding photo. With every new location, Paiyan received a message from Jiang Ji. Honey, seeing all this really makes me miss you. I just want to drop work and come find you. 3 days until the wedding. Why did I never realize how slow time passes? There are so many couples making wishes at the Yue Lao Shrine. Next time we come, we definitely have to add our names up there too. Paiyan, we have to last forever. We'll never be apart for the rest of our lives. Before he knew it, the sky grew dark, and the tourists gradually dispersed. Paiyan slowly walked up to the Yue Lao Shrine. In the highest spot, he saw the 2 names written closely together. Jiang Ji and An Jingshan, the rest of our lives. What an absolute joke. Paiyan couldn't help but laugh, but his tears fell. At the same time, his phone started pinging with non-stop messages. They were from An Jingshan. It was the wedding photos he and Jiang Ji just took. As long as I want it, she'll hand me the world on a silver platter. Thanks to you, the photos turned out beautifully. Paiyan turned off his phone without replying a single word. The day before the wedding, Paiyan returned from Yeqing and went to see his childhood friend, Xu Jingming. I'm sorry, I made you prepare for so long, and now you don't even get to be the best man. Jiang Ji and I. He was about to explain when Xu Jingming interrupted him. You're finally completely disappointed in her, aren't you? Paiyan loved Jiang Ji so much. If there was even a shred of hope, he wouldn't be this absolute about it. Paiyan's throat felt dry as Xu Jingming pulled him inside. His phone kept blowing up with congratulatory messages. Ji is basically obsessed with you. With such a great wife, you're definitely going to be the happiest groom tomorrow. Wishing you a long and happy life together. Seeing you guys go from college to now makes me believe in love again. Paiyan, you and Ji have to be happy. Among them was a message from Jiang Ji. Honey, I'll be home by 8 p.m. Wait for me. But before 8 o'clock, and Jingshan sent him an address first. Paiyan knew and Jingshan wanted him to go there. To be honest, Paiyan really was a little curious, so he followed the address. The private room door was slightly ajar, and Jingshan was reaching for a drink. No, you're allergic to alcohol. Stop messing around. Aren't you rushing back to see him? You don't need to care about me. And Jingshan stayed silent, but his eyes grew red. Jiang Ji's tone instantly softened. All right, I'll stay and keep you company. I won't go back. Paiyan looked down. Mixed in with the congratulations were a few new messages. Honey, the project is wrapping up, so I have to go into the office for some overtime. If I work hard for one more night, I can take a few extra days off to go to Yeqing with you. Honey, I've held out for 14 days for you. Just one more day, and I can finally marry you. Paiyan couldn't help but smile. She was constantly claiming it was all for him. Jiang Ji put down her phone. Happy now. But An Jingshan shook his head. I don't want you going to the wedding tomorrow. Jiang Ji was silent. He gets to have you for the next few decades of 5-year increments. All I want is this one last day. Can't I even have that? And Jingshan sounded like he was about to cry. After a long moment, Jiang Ji finally spoke. Okay? And Jingshan finally smiled and pulled her into his arms. Through the crack in the door, his smug gaze met Paiyan's. Paiyan's eyes grew colder and colder. By flaking on tomorrow's wedding without a word, did she ever think about how worried and scared he'd be? Did she ever think about how he was supposed to explain it to his family and friends? No, Jiang Ji knew. But for An Jingshan, she didn't care. She was even prepared to leave all the humiliation to him. Paiyan originally planned to apologize to Xu Jingming and mass text everyone that the wedding was off. Having known her for 5 years, he wanted to leave Jiang Ji with some final dignity, but now, there was no need. Pai Yan turned and left the building, getting into Xu Jiming's car. Xu Yingming, do me a favor. At 10 a.m. the next day, Xu Jingming dropped Pai Yan off at the airport. As the plane took off, messages were blowing up in Jiang Ji's family group chat. Zi's phone is off. What's going on? Pai Yan, where did you guys go? The guests are all here. We're just waiting for you two. Pai Yan, the wedding is about to start. Know your place. Don't mess around at a time like this. Pai Yan, what exactly are you trying to do? Just as Pai Yan expected, Jiang Ji's family and friends never liked him to begin with, and right now, all the blame was being pointed at him. Pai Yan simply left the group chat, then blocked everyone connected to her with one click. He turned his phone off. The plane took off. Pai Yan leaned back in his seat, silently chanting in his heart, Jiang Ji, goodbye. I hope we never meet again. And Jingshan came out of the hotel bathroom, wearing nothing but a towel. Zi, help me dry my hair. Jiang Ji held the hairdryer, glancing for the umpteenth time at her long-dead phone. How about you promised me. And Jingshan cut her off. You're mine for the whole day today. Jiang Ji stayed silent, continuing to blow-dry his hair, but her thoughts were churning uncontrollably, thinking about Pai Yan, who was waiting for her at the hotel right now. Pai Yan's parents' divorce. He was baggage that neither of them wanted. Her own parents already looked down on him. Since she didn't show up, who knew if her parents would take their anger out on Pai Yan? The hairdryer whirred loudly. Jiang Ji felt increasingly anxious when she finished drying his hair, and Jingshan knelt on the sofa. Ji, we don't have much time. And Jingshan leaned in to kiss her. Jiang Ji instinctively turned her head to dodge it whole. Ji. Jiang Ji's mind was clear. She had to go to the hotel. She pushed Jingshan away and stood up. This ends here. I can't leave Pai Yan there all alone. And Jingshan froze. Jiang Ji, feeling a sense of relief, turned her phone on. There were so many unread messages that her phone lagged for a few seconds. Sis, where are you? Stop messing around. Okay. Where are you and Pai Yan? You and Jingshan took wedding photos. Jiang Ji's mind exploded. Unease and panic washed over her. She instinctively scrolled through her phone looking for messages from Pai Yan, but there were none. From last night until now, Pai Yan hadn't sent her a single message. No, how can there be none? Jiang Ji instinctively called Pai Yan, but his phone was off. The next second, she got a call from her mom. Ji, the wedding has already started. Where are you guys? Today is a huge deal. Don't mess around with Pai Yan. What does he mean by blocking us? Even if you guys are fighting, you need to read the room. If you two don't show up today, are you trying to make us look like a complete joke to everyone? Jiang Ji almost dropped her phone. Mom, is Pai Yan at the hotel? No. What is wrong with him? Jiang Ji's temples throbbed wildly. She bolted out the door. Not showing up was her fault. It was understandable that Pai Yan was mad and hiding from her. As long as she found him and explained herself properly, it would be fine. But she couldn't find him. Sweating profusely, Jiang Ji ran all over the hotel, only to see the big screen alternating between wedding photos of her and Jingshan. If he wasn't at the hotel, he must be at home. Jiang Ji slammed on the gas and rushed home. The apartment was as empty as a model home. Everything belonging to Pai Yan was gone. Pai Yan. Jiang Ji looked toward the bedroom. Her voice shook. Come out. Stop scaring me. But there was no response for a long time. Jiang Ji pushed the door open. The bedroom was also empty. There wasn't a single decoration left. Every trace of Pai Yan had been completely erased. Jiang Ji hurried over and opened the closet. His suitcase was missing. The color drained entirely from Jiang Ji's face. The doorbell suddenly rang. Jiang Ji, as if grabbing onto a final lifeline, rushed to open the door. But the people outside were Xu Jiming and Jingshan, who had just rushed over. Oh, you're both here. Great. Pai Yan left something for you. Xu Jingming threw a gift box at her and turned to leave. Keep it safe. Jiang Ji, Pai Yan meeting someone like you was honestly the worst luck of his life. The box hit Jiang Ji's forehead, leaving a bloody mark, and tumbled to the floor. The wedding suit inside fell out. Jiang Ji stared blankly, dizzy and disoriented. Pai Yan left on his own. So you don't have to marry him out of obligation anymore. And Jingxian couldn't hide the joy in his eyes. This wedding was prepared for me anyway. Wait for me to change into the suit, and I'll go back with you to finish the wedding. Okay. Jiangji didn't move. The moment Jingxian touched her, she violently shook him off. No need. The only person I'm marrying is Pi Yan. I'm going to find him. And Jingxian stumbled a few steps back before steadying himself. He couldn't believe it. Jiangji didn't even look at him. She turned and left, and Jingxian watched her figure disappear. It felt like he had been struck hard. The only person she'll marry is Pei Yan. Then was Yang Ziyi just toying with him when she said she only wanted to marry him? Was she just leading him on? The wedding that day was complete chaos. Meanwhile, Pei Yan's flight arrived across the ocean. The colleague who came to pick him up, and Hui, put his suitcase in the trunk. I've read a few of your proposals. They're excellent. I've wanted to poach you for a long time. If I hadn't been so busy with work, when you turned down the offer before, I would have flown back to China to talk to you myself. When is your wedding schedule? We can't let work get in your way. Let me see how I can arrange some time off for you. Pai Yan smiled slightly. It was today, and Hui froze. Don't worry about it. Someone else was willing to marry her for me. It didn't cause any delays. 2 seconds later, and Hui finally realized his fiancée had been stolen. An inside job, hard to guard against, and Hui narrowed his eyes. After a long pause, he said, well, congratulations then. A permanent solution. You don't have to worry about thieves anymore. Pai Yan chuckled. Before boarding his flight, he had thrown the wedding countdown calendar into the trash. The moment he set foot on foreign soil, his 5 years with Jiangji were over. Good or bad, it was all left behind. He had completely let go. Even when Jiangji was mentioned, Pai Yan's heart didn't waver. Pai Yan turned his phone on. It vibrated endlessly. Honey, where on earth are you? I can't find you anywhere. I'm so worried. Please, just answer your phone, okay? I got stuck in an elevator earlier and had no signal. I couldn't contact anyone for help. I didn't mean to be late. Even if it's my fault, you can yell at me all you want. Just don't disappear on me. I'm scared. Pai Yan pursed his lips. If he were still completely in the dark, he probably would have been sick with worry over her safety. Jiangji bounced between him and Jingxian, setting up backup plans for herself, while treating him like an absolute fool. Pei Yan didn't reply. He put his phone away as the car pulled over. I have a meeting to get to. I'll have Yuxin show you to your apartment. And Hui got his suitcase out for him. I've been trying to poach Yuxin for years. She finally agreed yesterday. She just arrived too. So you guys happen to bump into each other. Here she is. Pai Yan looked in the direction he was waving. A beautiful girl was standing there, smiling brightly. She looked incredibly stunning. It was Yuxin. She was 2 years ahead of him in college. It's a small world. After he graduated, Pai Yan's first job had him placed right under her management. All the professional skills he picked up early on were taught step by step by Yuxin. They barely worked together for a year before Yuxin abruptly resigned without any warning. Pai Yan was actually pretty bummed about it at the time, and Yuxin quickly walked over, pulling a suitcase that matched the color of hers. Pai Yan blurted out, "What a coincidence." And Yuxin looked at him, her gaze unreadable. It's no coincidence. Before Pei Yan could process that, Jiangji's call came in again. He hesitated for 2 seconds before answering. Honey, I don't understand what I did wrong. You wouldn't even show up to the wedding. You pushed me into hell at the happiest moment of my life. If I did something wrong, I can change. If you really don't want me anymore, you should at least tell me why. Pai Yan, do you really not love me anymore? By the end, her voice was trembling through the phone, almost giving Pei Yan the illusion that she deeply loved him, and that he was the one. Betraying her true feelings, Pai Yan listened quietly until she finished before speaking. The wedding photos of you and Jingxian. I was the one who sent them to the wedding planner. The other end of the line went dead silent. Pai Yan didn't wait for her to say anything else. He hung up the phone. Sorry you had to see that. Not gonna block her. Pai Yan paused, and Yuxin's expression was calm. Don't give your ex any hope, and you won't leave yourself with any trouble. Pai Yan couldn't help but look at her. She made perfect sense. She had a lot of exes, but she was Yuxin. No matter how many guys liked her, it seemed completely natural. Pai Yan picked up his phone and blocked Jiang Ji. A faint smile flickered in Yuxin's eyes. Let's go. I'll take you to the apartment. It wasn't until they arrived that Pei Yan realized he was living right next door to her. I know the area better than you do. I'll take you out to buy some daily necessities later. With such kindness, Pei Yan really had no reason to refuse. After they finished shopping, it was only natural to return the favor. So he treated her to dinner. Pei Yan let her order. She wasn't overly polite about it, but when the food arrived, every single dish was something Pei Yan liked. What a coincidence, Pei Yan smiled. In a foreign country, working on the same team, with similar tastes, spending time together was undeniably pleasant. After dinner, Pei Yan and Yuxin walked back. Right as they reached the door, Pei Yan received a video call from Xu Jingming. Xu Jingming fired off questions, checking in on every aspect of his life. Pei Yan listened with a smile, answering patiently. The camera accidentally shifted, and Yuxin happened to enter the frame. Xu Jingming's eyes immediately widened. Yesterday, Senior An. So Pei Yan tilted the camera a bit more, to let Yuxin fully into the frame. Pei Yan and Xu Jingming graduated from the same university. As the undisputed campus goddess, it was no surprise she left a deep impression on Xu Jingming. But Xu Jingming totally lost his mind. I just told you yesterday that Pei Yan broke up with his fiancée, and you moved this fast. Pei Yan froze. He slowly turned to look at Yuxin. Her expression hadn't changed. Pei Yan, let me tell you, Yuxin definitely has ulterior motives. The second after Xu Jingming's loud voice came through, Pei Yan hung up the video call. Heat instantly rushed to his head. I'm sorry. I know you didn't mean anything by it. Xu Jingming just likes to make a fuss out of nothing. And Yuxin interrupted him. No need to apologize. Because I do. His eyes widened slightly, and Yuxin's gaze was intense. Pei Yan, it wasn't a coincidence. 2 years ago, I left because of you. And I'm here now because of you too. Pei Yan's mind went blank for a second. He involuntarily remembered when he first saw Yuxin here, and she also said it wasn't a coincidence. And Yuxin took a step back, smiling gently and harmlessly. Without the slightest bit of aggression, she said, go inside, get some rest. See you tomorrow. Yeah. Pei Yan mechanically walked into his room. Even after he finished unpacking his luggage, he still hadn't fully recovered. He patted his cheeks. 2 years ago, he had just bought his house and officially moved in with Jiang Ji. At that time, besides Jiang Ji, Pei Yan had never considered any other possibilities. Of course, he wouldn't overthink the reason why Yuxin left it. Pei Yan's mind was in turmoil for a moment, but it quickly returned to calm. Right now, he didn't plan on starting a new relationship. His phone vibrated. Pei Yan looked down. It was a message from Yuxin. Before this Yuxin, Yuxin had quietly stayed in his contacts list for a full 2 years. Pei Yan's heart involuntarily tightened. Pei Yan, good night. Before Pei Yan even lifted his newly settled phone, another message arrived. Jiang Ji had changed numbers to add him as a friend. Over the past 5 years, everyone knows how good I've been to you. I should at least get a chance to explain. Pei Yan, you can't treat me like this. Jiang Ji stared unblinkingly at her phone. But the notification that he accepted her friend request never came. Pei Yan knew about her and Jinxian, but how was that possible? Jiang Ji looked around the room. This was the marital home she and Pei Yan had prepared together, from the furniture and appliances down to the double happiness paper cutouts on the windows. Yet she couldn't find a single thing that belonged to Pei Yan. Her palms were sweaty. The panic was uncontrollable. The bedroom door was pushed open, and Jinxian walked in. You've locked yourself in your room. We're really worried about you. Jiang Ji stared straight at him. Tell me, how did Pei Yan get those wedding photos? I really don't know. And Jinxian immediately put on a victimized act. I only shared the photos on my private account. I didn't think anyone would find them. Give it to me. Let me see. The photos Jinxian shared on his private account were the exact ones displayed at the hotel. Jiang Ji silently scrolled through the photos, scrutinizing every detail, until she finished flipping through the last one. Gee, what's wrong? Isn't it good that Pei Yan left? The photos are fake. and Jingshan froze. The photos can only be fake. Do you understand me? Jiangji's face was dark. Her stare made Jingshan's hair stand on end. Jiangji got up and walked out. And Jingshan, after Pei Yan comes back, you'll still be my older brother. The door closed, and Jingshan had to lean on the table to steady himself. He let out a cold laugh. Too bad. In Pei Yan's eyes, he would never be just Jiangji's older brother. If Jiangji wanted everything to go back to normal, she was dreaming. As soon as Jiangji left her room, everyone swarmed her. What on earth happened? Ji, hurry up and tell us. Everyone's calling me, asking what's going on. Why did you and Jingshan take wedding photos? Bombarded with endless questions. Jiangji's temples throbbed fiercely. The photos are fake. Pei Yan misunderstood me. Now he's quit his job and blocked me. I have no way to explain it to him. Saying the excuse a second time. Even Jiangji herself almost believed it. Pei Yan has gone too far. Coming from a family like his, he's basically an orphan. I only accepted him for your sake, and look at him, stirring up this massive mess. He's completely embarrassed us. As expected, someone unwanted by their parents just lacks manners. Yi, I'm warning you right now. If he comes back, he has to apologize to everyone. Otherwise, I won't accept this son-in-law. Jiangji listened, staying completely silent. In just 2 days, the rumor that Pei Yan was throwing a childish tantrum spread everywhere. All the blame fell on Pei Yan's shoulders. Jiangji was innocent. Jiangji stopped looking for him, and her nights out drinking with her friends increased significantly. The empty liquor bottle in front of Jiangji was taken away, replaced by a freshly opened one. Have you contacted Pei Yan yet? Jiangji took a swig of liquor. No. He's taking this playing hard to get way too far. I bet it's just because Ji was too good to him before. So now he doesn't know how to appreciate it. Ji, listen to me. Give him half a month. He'll definitely come back on his own. It's only because Ji is so forgiving that she's still willing to wait. He blocked my number too. But the old alumni group chat is still there. I can give him a hint in the group chat. Make him come back within half a month. Jiangji's eyes darkened. But she didn't stop her. Her phone buzzed continuously. The long-dead alumni group chat was brought back to life. And Pei Yan was specifically mentioned. The photos are fake. This whole thing was just a misunderstanding to begin with it. Ji has already stated her position. If you come back within half a month, we can pretend you ruining the wedding. Never happened. Honestly, you're not a kid anymore. Pulling stunts like quitting impulsively. As long as you hurry back, Ji will pull some strings to help you keep your position. I might sound harsh, but it's the truth. Pei Yan, with your background, if you lose Ji, you'll basically never find a better woman than her. Jiangji watched message after message roll in as the alumni group chat exploded. Jie, do you want me to help you find out where Pei Yan is? Jiangji looked up. The wedding photos have already been dealt with it. I've cut ties with Jingshan too, since I didn't do anything wrong. And Pei Yan loves me so much. He'll definitely come back. He can't live without me. There's no need. She downed the rest of her drink. She pushed down the last trace of anxiety. I'll give him another half month. Pei Yan saw those messages too. One of them caught his eye for a few extra seconds. The timeline for the wedding photos doesn't even match. Ji was on a business trip that day. Pei Yan knows that, using one lie to cover up another. Besides, finding it amusing. Pei Yan honestly felt no other emotion. Everyone was certain Pei Yan would definitely go back. The only question was which day within that half month. Pei Yan just muted the group chat. They could wait if they wanted to. He wasn't going to turn back. And he certainly wasn't going to let them affect him. Working with Yuxin again after 2 years. The two of them didn't feel the slightest bit out of sync. They completely bypassed the adjustment period. In just half a month, they successfully secured 2 projects. And Yuxin's feelings for him were only expressed on that first day. Since then, she had never overstepped a single boundary. Outside of work, Pei Yan even began to suspect that that day had been a hallucination. And then Yuxin didn't like him at all. Until that night, while Yuxin was taking a walk with him, he received a message from Xu Jiming. Do you seriously never look at the alumni group chat? Pei Yan finally opened the long-muted alumni group chat. The last message was sent by Yuxin that morning. replying to a message from half a month ago. I might sound harsh, but it's the truth. Payan, with your background, if you lose Ji, you'll basically never find a better woman than her. Do I count as better than her? Payan's footsteps paused. His heart suddenly skipped a beat, and Yuxin stopped too. Glancing at his phone screen, I never checked the alumni group chat. A friend just told me about it this morning, so I went to take a look. You could have just ignored it. By sending that, they might gossip about you. Let Simwa do. I don't care. And Yuxin turned around. The gentle street light cast her shadow onto him. But you're different. Payan, I care about you. It felt as if a warm summer breeze had brushed past his heart. The heat in his cheeks rose uncontrollably. Payan looked away and kept walking. And Yuxin didn't say any more, just quietly walking beside him. Payan pursed his lips, but out of the corner of his eye, he couldn't help but steal glances at Yuxin's beautiful face again and again. His mind was filled with Xu Jiaming's teasing words, and Yuxin was slowly boiling a frog. Payan's footsteps unconsciously slowed down, and Yuxin stopped too, looking back to wait for him to catch up. Payan, his cheeks growing even hotter, lowered his head, and quickly walked over. Right as they were about to reach the apartment, Payan's phone received a new message. Jiang Ji had resent the friend request. Today is the last day of the half month. I'll be waiting at home for you to come back. Payan blocked yet another number and put his phone away. They arrived at the apartment, and Yuxin turned to look at him. Payan. Good night. Payan unlocked his door, clearly feeling her gaze resting on him. Without skipping a single day, and Yuxin's good night had never been absent, Payan suddenly looked back. Do you want to come in and sit for a bit? Then, Payan watched and Yuxin completely lose her composure. Even her ears turned bright red. Payan belatedly realized what he had just said. I misspoke. Before he could finish, the door was kicked shut, and Yuxin hooked one arm around Payan's collar, stood on her tiptoes, and kissed him. Payan actively wrapped his arm around her waist, taking back the lead. The kiss felt like he wanted to devour her whole, but he still gave Yuxin a chance to call it off. Any regrets? And Yuxin raised an eyebrow. Her lips were glossy. I've waited a long time for this day. I don't regret anything. Control was completely lost. His constantly buzzing phone was completely thrown to the back of his mind, but everything exceeded his expectations. Payan, let's go again. Payan's heart trembled fiercely. In this moment he only had eyes for her. The next morning, the first thing Payan saw when he opened his eyes was Yuxin. His mind went blank for a second, and Yuxin smiled. Payan, you have to take responsibility for me. It would be hard for him not to. After all, so far, there wasn't a single thing about Yuxin he wasn't satisfied with though. And Yuxin immediately posted on her social media, officially announcing that she was off the market. She didn't explicitly say Payan's name, but nosy people connected her announcement to her reply in the alumni group chat, and she didn't deny it. That afternoon, Payan received a call from Xu Jiaming. Jiang Ji has lost it. She drank until her stomach bled and was sent to the hospital. Payan, everyone in the alumni group is guessing. Is your relationship with Yuxin real? Payan danced at Yuxin. She looked nonchalant, but she was holding her pen upside down. It's real, amid Xu Jiaming's shrieks. And Yuxin flipped the pen right side up and signed the document. Her ears quietly turned red. Over the past half month, Jiang Ji rebooked a hotel and picked a wedding planner. She wants to wait for you to come back and redo the wedding. What took her so long? She only started asking around about you after she ended up in the hospital today. She probably really thought she had you wrapped around her finger before this. You probably can't hide your overseas assignment anymore. But it doesn't matter. Don't engage with her. Let her crash and burn. Hearing news about Jiang Ji, Payan's emotions didn't waver at all. Okay, I got it. He hung up. That little interlude with Jiang Ji was now in the past. Payan liked Yuxin more and more. In less than a week, she introduced him to her family over the phone. Payan's contact list gained a few more people who genuinely cared about him. And Yuxin was completely different from Jiang Ji. During his 5 years with Jiang Ji, everyone constantly emphasized how good Jiang Ji was to him. They said her willingness to marry him was him marrying out of his league, and that he'd be committing a sin if he didn't cherish her. All of Payan's sacrifices and contribution were taken entirely for granted. But An Yuxin only ever told him one thing. She loved him because he deserved it. Nothing was ever taken for granted. She saw everything good that he did. An Yuxin cooked dinner. Payan sat on the floor, unpacking the things her family sent her. He spent ages unpacking a huge box. Aside from the maybe 1/10 that An Yuxin could actually use, the rest was all for him. My mom treats you like her own son. It feels like I'm the adopted one, An Yuxin said. Jealous. Payan smiled. An Yuxin shrugged. Worst case scenario, I'll just be her daughter-in-law. Payan chuckled. The doorbell suddenly rang. Payan got up to open it. It was Jiangji outside. Her voice was hoarse. She stared blankly at Payan, as if looking at a lost treasure she'd finally found again, not even daring to blink. I finally found you. Before Payan could react, he was pulled into a hug. I missed you so much. Come home with me, okay? We'll have the wedding again. Payan's smile vanished. He firmly pushed her away. Don't call me that. It's disgusting. Jiangji stumbled back a few steps before steadying herself. Her eyes immediately filled with tears. I already explained the wedding photos to you. They were fake. I told you that day I was going on business trip. There's nothing between me and An Jingqian. I just see him as a brother. If you don't like it, I'll never see him again. You had people hide this from me. It took me forever to find out you were here. I flew 10 hours just to get here. Payan, I'm begging you. You can't do this to me. I can't take it. Her voice trembled, sounding incredibly wrong. Payan pressed his lips together tightly. A wave of disgust surged in his chest. Jiangji, have you no shame? Jiangji stared blankly at him. What's wrong? What did I do wrong? We were together for 5 whole years. We were about to get married. Why are you suddenly throwing me away? Payan looked at her expressionlessly. You know exactly what you did on the day of our wedding. Jiangji's pupils constricted. I got stuck in an elevator. Otherwise, I was so looking forward to our wedding. There's no way I would have been late. I only got your message after I was rescued from the elevator. I rushed straight to the hotel, but I couldn't find you anywhere. You blocked me. I tried adding you from so many different accounts, but you didn't even give me a chance to explain. Payan laughed. He knew better than anyone what she had done. Yet she insisted on playing dumb. She had acted so much, she actually believed her own lies. What kind of brother is An Jingqian? The kind you share a room and cuddle with it. Jiangji stiffened. Payan scoffed. Before proposing to me, you sent a message to An Jingqian, telling him you had no choice but to marry me, and that he was the only one you truly wanted to marry. You said couples shouldn't see each other before the wedding. You made me sleep in the study while you slept with him in my room. And you said you were on a last-minute business trip and couldn't take wedding photos with me. You were so afraid I'd suspect something. You even went out of your way to tell me. You asked An Jingqian to stay somewhere else for a few days for my sake. And the result. You know better than me if those wedding photos were fake or not. Jiangji, we have decades left together. An Jingqian only wants you for the day of the wedding. What? Did you and him both get stuck in that elevator together? With every word Payan said, Jiangji's face grew a shade paler. By the end, all color had completely drained from her face. Her entire body started to shake. Payan watched her coldly. I'm not an idiot. Jiangji's eyes were red, and panic consumed her. It's not like that. Honey, you have to believe me. You're the only one I love. I really love you. When someone is truly speechless, they really do just laugh. Payan pulled out his phone, opening the alumni group chat he had muted for a while. Loved me so much you pinned all your mistakes on me, making everyone think I'm temperamental, and throwing a tantrum over nothing. I'm the one who did you wrong. Right, you even generously gave me half a month to come crawling back. What was that about? Just 5 years of feeding your massive ego. You were so sure I couldn't live without you. That I was lucky to marry you. That I was marrying out of my league. Jiangji's lips trembled. Her explanation was weak. No, that's not what I meant. When Payan loved her, he was blind to everything else. He never thought the worst of her, but once he stopped loving her, all her worst traits, hidden in the past, started to show their ugly heads. Before I blocked them, I took screenshots of all the insults your family and friends sent me. Want to see them? Ah, Jiangji, if you hadn't silently agreed, Would they have done that? There was a moment of dead silence. Suddenly, an Yuxin's voice came from inside. Payan, dinner's ready. Jiang Ji looked like she'd been struck by lightning. She could barely stand. And Yuxin? Why is she here? Right now, Jiang Ji looked exactly like a stray dog. But she didn't elicit a single ounce of pity from Pei Yan. It's exactly what you think it is. Didn't you already know? With that, Pei Yan looked away and shut the door. And Yuxin was sitting at the dining table waiting for him. Pei Yan walked over, and Yuxin naturally handed him a pair of chopsticks. Pei Yan's fingers hesitated for a moment. Why didn't you come out? That wasn't like in Yuxin's personality. As soon as they established their relationship, she proactively staked her claim. Now, everyone in the branch office knew, and Yuxin had moved abroad specifically for him. Pei Yan, I get scared too. And Yuxin smiled faintly. But now I'm not scared anymore. Why? Pei Yan, I know you. You wouldn't look back. And Yuxin's eyes were burning with intensity. I accept that you don't like me as much right now. But you're a responsible person. Eventually you'll love me more than you ever loved her. I'm worth it. It was incredibly subtle, but a ripple passed through his heart. How did this turn into responsibility? After you rejected me, I still only liked you. Besides you, I never considered anyone else. Finally getting you to take responsibility for me is exactly what I deserve. And Yuxin's smile was so beautiful it made Pei Yan zone out. His heart started pounding intensely. He and Yuxin clicked perfectly, whether it was their values or anything else. When he had someone in his heart, he wouldn't entertain any other relationships. He had only chosen Yuxin after completely letting go of Jiang Ji. Yuxin, I don't love her anymore. And Yuxin's eyes lit up a bit. Pei Yan lowered his eyes. The person I like now is you. A moment later, and Yuxin's voice was full of allure. Eat first. You need a full stomach before getting busy with other things. Outside the door, Jiang Ji wanted to knock for the umpteenth time, but she didn't dare. Those few minutes just now crushed every last bit of hope she had. She didn't know when it started, but she had suddenly become the type of person Pei Yan despised the most. Numb. Jiang Ji walked outside. She didn't stop until she was completely out of the apartment building, looking up at Pei Yan's apartment. Not long after, the lights in Pei Yan's bedroom turned on. Jiang Ji immediately looked at the apartment next door, but she didn't get what she wished for. That apartment remained pitch black. Countless scenarios ran wild in her mind. What were Yuxin and Pei Yan doing right now? Was he kissing her? Or were they going even further? He probably was. She knew Pei Yan. Pei Yan was a very traditional guy. Unless he was absolutely certain, he wouldn't cross that line. It took her and Pei Yan 3 years to reach that step. Back then, Pei Yan scrounged and saved to buy a nice house. After secretly renovating it, he brought her there. She was moved to tears. She told Pei Yan that was a little home, just for the two of them. Pei Yan finally let down his guard and started living with her. But how could she have been so stupid? She didn't even ask for his permission. Before letting Jingshin move in, Jiang Ji kept her head tilted back, staring masochistically at that lit-up room. She didn't know how long it had been before the lights went out. She looked next door, but the lights never turned on. The taste of blood rose in Jiang Ji's throat. For the first time, she tasted the bitterness of regret. She stood completely still in the courtyard, letting the cold wind blow over her. A thought suddenly popped into her head. During that half a month when she was keeping Jingshin company, was it this agonizing for Pei Yan too? She had clearly sworn that she would never do anything to break Pei Yan's heart for the rest of her life. But why? After seeing Jingshin again, did she think she could get away with it? She thought she could balance it all perfectly, without Pei Yan noticing a thing. But she forgot that even if Pei Yan didn't find out, she was still the one doing wrong. Jiang Ji managed to get a car from somewhere. When Pei Yan went to work, she waited outside his office. When Pei Yan went home, she parked her car in the courtyard overnight. 3 meals a day. Jiang Ji made them herself and had someone deliver them to Pei Yan. She even timed it perfectly to make sure the food was still hot when he got it. The snacks he used to like. Jiang Ji went through a lot of trouble to get people to bring them over from China, and secretly left them at his apartment door. But, without exception, Pei Yan gave them all away right in front of her. In just a week, Jiang Ji lost a noticeable amount of weight. She looked visibly terrible. Whenever their eyes met by chance, Jiang Ji's eyes would turn red, her gaze filled with pleading. But Pei Yan quickly looked away, treating her entirely as a stranger. He didn't want anything to do with Jiang Ji anymore, and he wasn't going to let her make Yuxin uncomfortable. When the first snow came, the temperature plummeted, knowing Pei Yan hated the cold, and Yuxin turned the heating on early. But out in the courtyard, Jiang Ji could only rely on her car's heater to tough it out. Pei Yan received another friend request. Pei Yan, I've been thinking about our past over and over these past few days. I really know I was wrong. Can we please start over? It's really cold out here. I feel like I can't hold on much longer. I'm begging you, please don't ignore me. Holding the red date tea and Yuxin made for him, Pei Yan looked down out the window. That car sat all alone in the courtyard, looking exceptionally pathetic. It was below freezing outside. The car heater wasn't going to cut it, and Yuxin walked up beside him. How about I let her borrow my apartment for now? Pei Yan looked up, feeling generous. If something happens to her, you'd feel guilty. And Yuxin shrugged. No need. Pei Yan took a sip of his tea. Warmth spread through his whole body. Before, when I first noticed, and Jingxia, I told myself, Pei Yan, if others don't love you, you have to love yourself. When you clearly know you're walking into a swamp, you have to turn back. And the same goes for right now. Pei Yan pulled the curtains shut, refusing to look at that car anymore. She doesn't even love herself. Why should I care on her behalf? And I won't give her the slightest illusion that there's still a chance for us. Yuxin, right now, the only person I care about is you. And Yuxin swallowed hard, her eyes rippling with a smile. Me too. Pei Yan didn't accept the friend request, and Jiang Ji didn't send another one. Just as he finished his tea, the sound of an ambulance suddenly came from outside, and Yuxin went to take a look. It's Jiang Ji. Pei Yan froze. He had let go of Jiang Ji and their past, but he really didn't want anything bad to happen to her. Jiang Ji had fallen into a coma from hypoxia caused by running the car heater. If she hadn't been sent to the hospital in time, she really might have lost her life. The next day at noon, when Jiang Ji woke up, she still felt nauseous and was in bad shape. It's good that you're awake. Your boyfriend took care of you all night. He was so worried he was almost crying. Jiang Ji's eyes lit up. Her joy even overpowered her discomfort. Where is he? You hadn't woken up and he was worried. So he just ran out to find the doctor. Just wait a bit. He should be right back. Thank you. Jiang Ji was filled with joy. Thank goodness she toughed it out this past month. The fact that Pei Yan was willing to take care of her meant he still had her in his heart. As long as Pei Yan was willing to return to China with her, she could overlook his little fling with an Yuxin. They would redo the wedding, and everything would start fresh. She and Pei Yan would be as good as they were in the past 5 years. Please hurry. She's been unconscious this whole time and still hasn't woken up. An anxious, urging voice came from outside. The door was pushed open. Jiang Ji immediately looked at the person following the doctor inside. Honey, is that you? But the person who walked in was an Jingxin. You're finally awake. Do you know you scared me to death? And Jingxin rushed forward, weeping tears of joy. But just as he was about to grab her hand, she violently threw him off. Why is it you? And Jingxin was stung by Jiang Ji's icy glare. His smile vanished. Who were you hoping would come? Pei Yan? You worked so hard for 3 years? And were right, about to be promoted to executive CEO. But because of Pei Yan you just dropped everything and left. You gave up so much. And is Pei Yan even willing to talk to you? Shut up, Jiang Ji screamed hysterically. If it weren't for you, everything wouldn't be ruined. And Jingxin laughed and laughed until he suddenly broke down. Jiang Ji, are you even human? You were the one who came onto me first. You were the one who told me that you were only with Pei Yan out of obligation, and that the only person you truly wanted to marry was me. But Jiang Ji wasn't moved at all. You aren't innocent either. You knew from the start your position was shameful. Now that we've reached this point, who can you blame? And Jingxin looked like he'd been struck by lightning. The hospital room was frighteningly quiet after a long while, and Jingxin gritted his teeth and said, word by word, your visa is expiring. It's time for you to go back to China too. I'll go back with you. From now on, without pay, we'll live a good life together. Jiang Ji said nothing. Her mouth tasted metallic. But she couldn't, and wouldn't, accept losing Payan. Their past was so beautiful. How could she willingly let it go? The news that Jiang Ji was fine was still told to Payan by Xu Jingming, and Jingshan joined their alumni group chat. The group chat, that had been dead for days, was suddenly lively again. And this time, Jingshan twisted the truth to play the victim, making Payan and Yuxin the targets of everyone's anger. Payan and Yuxin moving abroad for work at the exact same time, and immediately announcing their relationship, stood in stark contrast to Jiangji ending up in the hospital. It forced people to wonder, did Payan betray Jiangji because he and Yuxin were already fooling around? 2 years ago, Yuxin was Payan's boss, and now they just seamlessly connected. It's hard not to suspect that Payan and Yuxin had been hooking up this whole time, right? Jiangji is so pitiful. She was basically just a stepping stone for Payan for 5 years, right? It's a good thing Jiangji didn't end up marrying a man like Pa. Payan scrolled down and found the message Jingshan had just sent. Payan, leave Ji alone. You and Yuxin can do whatever you want. Just don't come crying back later. The alumni group chat was being spammed nonstop. Hot-headed Xu Jiming was relentlessly cursing Jingshan out. It was getting pretty nasty. Payan smiled as he read it. He really hadn't replied a single word in the group chat, and Jingshan probably thought this time would be the same. But Payan just didn't want to reply. It wasn't like he was dead. Payan looked at Yuxin across from him. Her face was stony. She was about to type a reply when Payan took her phone. I got this. And Yuxin was protective of him. And actually, he was the same way. And Yuxin was like a gentle spring rain, quietly taking root and sprouting in his heart, slowly becoming his weak spot. Payan knew he was falling for her, but because it was Yuxin, he was never afraid of repeating his past mistakes. Payan looked down and typed a few words. Did everyone just forget about the wedding photos? The messages paused for a few seconds. Payan, are you ever going to let that go? Ji and Jingshan already came out and proved that the photos were maliciously faked by someone. You knew Ji was on a business trip that day. You and Yuxin are dirty, so you see everyone else as dirty too. Mixed in were messages from Jingshan. Payan, you need evidence before making accusations. Because Payan hadn't made a move for 2 months, and Jingshan assumed he had deleted all those chat records. Payan scrolled through his phone. From his massive stash of evidence, he only sent one photo, but it hit the boiling alumni group chat like a hard pause. But in the photo, Jingshan was holding Jiangji in his arms. The photographer was finding an angle to take the shot. Payan leisurely sent his messages. I took this photo. I'm the one who booked the photographer to take their wedding photos. Afterwards, Jingshan specifically messaged to thank me, saying that thanks to me, the photos turned out beautifully. Jiangji, are you sure you want me to keep sending evidence? The chat was silenced by these 3 messages. Those mouths that were just running a mile a minute seemed to have been sealed shut. After a long while, Jiangji finally sent a message. Payan is right. I'm the one who wronged him. Payan coldly looked at the delayed apology. Seeing it just made him sick. Payan didn't care about anyone else's reaction. He directly left the group. Get me out too. Like husband, like wife. Payan glanced at Yuxin and removed her account from the group as well. He tossed his phone aside. It was replaced by Yuxin's hand. Fingers intertwined. A smile rippled in Yuxin's eyes. A cozy warmth flooded Payan's heart. He looked down and couldn't help but smile too. The next time he saw Jiangji was the following evening. When Payan and Yuxin were returning from a walk, Jiangji was standing by her car, having waited who knows how long. Let me just say a few words, okay? I booked a flight for tonight. I'm going back to China soon. Jiangji had lost a ton of weight, her eyes sunken. Her tone was extremely subservient. Payan looked at Yuxin, and Yuxin walked up with a smile and kissed him. I'll go up and start dinner. Come up when you're done, seeing our guest out. It's cold, don't stay out too long, okay? And Yuxin called her a guest. Payan didn't object. He and Yuxin openly displayed their intimate connection, leaving a bitter taste in Jiangji's mouth. Watching Yuxin go inside, Payan finally turned back to look at her. Standing quite a distance away, he said, Speak. I'm in a hurry. We were together for 5 whole years. I really can't live without you. I can't let you go, Payan. Do you really not care about me at all anymore? Payan's expression was calm, and he didn't say a word. Jiangji's eyes reddened. To come find you. My career is ruined. But I don't care. I just want you back. Payan, I went everywhere asking people to buy the snacks you like, and endured the cold to use the kitchen to make your meals. But you didn't even glance at them, giving them all away to someone else. It's been so cold outside these past few days. Every minute was torture. I almost died. But you didn't even ask about me once. Jiang Ji's tone grew increasingly frantic. She started coughing violently, sounding like she was coughing up a lung. From the corner of her eye, she looked at Payan. Payan remained unfazed. He hadn't even moved an inch. Jiang Ji's face turned pale. How can you be so cruel? You said you didn't want me and you really just threw me away. So, Jiang Ji, whose fault is that? Payan was incredibly sarcastic. Jiang Ji's spine slumped. Her body trembled. I thought Jingshin was just a small interlude. When he abandoned me to go abroad back then, I was really bitter about it. I wanted to make his life just as miserable as mine. Those hidden shameful thoughts were finally spoken out loud. But it only made Payan even more disgusted. Payan, I really know I was wrong. But I never crossed the line with Jingshan. I never actually betrayed you physically. I'm begging you. Please give me a chance to make it right. I can't live without you. Jiang Ji. Payan turned his head to see Jingshan walking over briskly. Payan, tonight Xia and I are flying back to China together. Jiang Ji panicked and tried to explain, no, we didn't plan this. And Jingshan smiled. I just got back from the hospital. Got some great news. Ji, you're pregnant. Just hit 2 months. Doing the math, it was right on the day before you and Payan's wedding. Jiang Ji tensed up completely. Her lips trembled, terrified to the core. And no, Payan smiled too. Congratulations. That single word carved a bloody gash right through Jiang Ji's heart. She couldn't stop shaking. In that moment, it became crystal clear to her that she had single-handedly ruined everything. Payan could never love her again. Ji, let's go. We still have a flight to catch. And Jingshin grabbed Jiang Ji's arm. Payan turned and looked at Jingshin. Looks like you have no way out now. And Jingshin's calm facade almost shattered. Payan smirked, repeating, congratulations. With that, Payan turned and left, and Jingshin would have to sink with her. It was his choice, and he'd have to suffer all the consequences. Payan quickened his pace. He didn't want to keep Yuxin waiting. After Jiang Ji and Jingshin returned to China, Payan stopped paying attention to them. Xu Jingming never brought them up again either. Payan's career flourished. In just 9 months, his name appeared on their university's distinguished alumni list, right alongside Yuxin's. When Payan took his annual leave, he went back to China with Yuxin to meet her parents. He didn't know how much prep Yuxin had done, but her parents knew all his likes and dislikes. Getting along with them was incredibly easy. On Lunar New Year's Eve, he and Yuxin's family made dumplings together. After eating, Yuxin pulled him downstairs to light fireworks. The words just slipped out. Do you want to marry me? And Yuxin froze in place. Only when the sparkler burned her hand did she run over in disbelief. Are you serious? Payan didn't know why he proposed at that exact moment either. But once the words were out, he didn't regret them for a second. He teased her. Yes. And even if I wasn't, I am now. And Yuxin's eyes grew red. I've been waiting for this for so long. I just didn't dare drop any hints. I was always afraid you weren't ready, and I didn't want to pressure you. Payan, I can't believe you actually gave me this surprise. His eyes warmed. He pulled out the ring he had secretly prepared a while ago. He got down on one knee. Yuxin, will you marry me? And Yuxin burst into tears and let him put the ring on her finger. I'd be so happy to marry you. After the proposal, everyone got busy helping them prepare for the wedding, and Yuxin handled almost everything herself. Many times, Payan didn't even have to say anything, and Yuxin would perfectly adjust the details so that they were both comfortable. Payan looked forward to the wedding more and more every day. On the day of the wedding, Payan received a call from an unknown number. Payan, you won. She named our daughter Jiang Xian. Isn't that just ridiculous? The voice on the other end was hoarse and rough. On the verge of a breakdown, Jiang Ji went crazy for you. You really should see what she looks like now. Paiyan, you're something else. After a moment, Paiyan finally recognized Jingshan's voice. He only asked one question in return. Did I do anything wrong? The other end went dead silent, and Jingshan choked out, Pei, Yan. Xu Jingming, who was finally getting to be his best man, spoke up. And Jingshan used to be a painter with a lot of potential, but his reputation is ruined. Now he's just a cheap ghostwriter for others. Jiang Ji's company found an excuse to fire her too. Now her parents have to financially support them both. Pai Yan remembered. In the past, Jiang Ji was her parents' absolute pride and joy. Who are you calling? Jiang Ji's voice came through the phone. Her piercing scream was ear-splitting. Then came Jiang Ji's trembling voice. Is that you? I changed the baby's name. Paiyan scoffed. Who are you trying to discuss? He hung up the phone and looked at Nyuxin walking toward him. Those people deserved to rot in the mud. And Nyuxin's future had just begun.